Hey family, are we rolling? I hope so. So, ancestral wisdom, studying the ancient languages. Oh man, the frequencies that the ancient languages carry, the meanings, the significance of the words is profound. But to study the ancient languages, well, just here in Mexico, just today there survives, some say 62, some say 68. I don't know, somewhere in there, a lot of different languages. So if you think it's like difficult to study and comprehend and have a grasp, even a basic, like parochial level grasp of the language, you know, say, imagine studying English and Spanish and, say, French. That'd be 3 languages. While the folks here, they have, 60 plus languages. There goes Alondra in the background. She wanted to be on my video, I guess. So 68 languages. It's all right, Alondra. Oh. If you don't mind being on film. Okay. Yeah, so the pronunciation of such of the ancient languages, like we didn't have like the vowels and stuff, right? We didn't have so the way my point is the way that it's pronounced, or the way if you hear somebody pronounce a word, it may or may not sound the same or be spelled the same if you spell it using a contemporary alphabet of one of the, say, Romance languages or derivatives of Latin. So, having said that caveat, the way it was taught to me when I first got to Mexico, I encountered the first sort of indigenous person I encountered, Mayan, somebody who knew a little bit about his native language. And I asked him to teach me a word, and he taught me this word called Matubsen. Now, that's the way it sounded to me. All right? And so I want to apologize let me turn this off, noise on my phone. I want to apologize to the ancestors. Pardon me if I don't pronounce it correctly or if I'm leaving some things out. I'm doing my best to interpret things based on the way that this guy said it to me. And so I said, so what's one word, if you could just teach me one word in your language? And he said Matubsen, and that's, like I said, that's the way it sounded to me. But then bear in mind, he was missing his 2 front teeth, and I don't know, but I asked him to repeat it, and that's the way it came across to me, so I could remember. And I asked him what the significance of this word Matubsen was, and he said it's a way that it's a word that we say when we greet and when we depart from the greeting or the exchange of energy that we're having with another. It means to say, thank you. Okay, first of all, it says, because with the knowingness that what I see in front of me is a mirror reflection of myself, another aspect of me. But who's me? It's not just the skin suit. Yes, you could say that you identify with your avatar, and therefore that's just one aspect of you, right? And who you are in the infinite consciousness, and in however many different soul shards split off, having different experiences and different avatars, on this realm and beyond. That's what it means to say me, So I would say I'm referring to myself. That would be the knowingness the ancestors had, right? And they would say Matubsen, meaning I thank you for this exchange of energy, whether it was a pleasant exchange of energy, or if it was a not so pleasant exchange of energy, regardless of how, when, where, why, in what state that we left the exchange, always I say thank you, because I recognize that it's just another aspect of myself. So if I reject it and resist it and or leave that relation in polarity, blame, shame, guilt, sorrow, jealousy, the need for retaliation, the need for retribution, the woulda, coulda, shoulda, all this emotional baggage, if you will, it means to say that we acknowledge it's there, but we don't carry it with us into the next relation that we have, into the next Matubsen moment. And then you thank that person regardless, thank you, whether I like the exchange of energy or not. You thank the other person that you had the exchange with. And then it means to say, Matubsen means to also say, and I shall not forget this exchange of energy. That means to say, if I liked it, if it was a good exchange of energy, if I found it to be peaceful and loving and beautiful and, warm and inviting and lovely and full of heart-based, good, whatever, fill in the blank, then that is a reflection of me. So pat on the back, take this moment to kind of say, good job. You have mirrored this in the reality. That's a step. That's a sign for you to that you're on the path and continue down that way. I don't know, whatever you make of that sign, but and then likewise, if the exchange was not like, if it was in polarity, if it was charged, if it was about not something so peaceful or lovely. Likewise, Matubsen, because it is a reflection of me, I don't recognize it as to take my finger, this one especially, should never point with this one. But you know how people do. When they point their finger, there's 1, 2, 3 pointing back at me. So it's a way to say, I acknowledge all that's there. And then in this way, all the emotion, all the emotion, the energy in motion, all the polarity, all the whatever you want to call it, because my damn phone again, I gotta hit this, make it stop making this noise, that you just like let it go, and then don't take that with you into your next reality, your next relation, fill in the blank, right? So as my friend and I, my friend Rafa, he's a maestro, and he and I were just talking about this the other day. Matubsen. It's a good way to let go of relationships, because there's times when you have to say goodbye, right? Anyhow, and the other word, Inlakesh. So there's some, I've heard the word comes from the east, and then I heard the word comes from the west. I'm not going to split for our cares about it. I'm just going to say it's another way to say. For me personally, in Lakesh, it sounds like it comes from the Lakota, or one of those types of languages of those people. But, like I said, it doesn't matter. What's the significance of it? That's what I'm focusing on here. Is the significance is means to say that I am another you or another me. And it's the same concept as the Matubsen, because it means to say I am a mirror reflection. What I see in front of me is a mirror reflection of what I project out there, or what is in my field of things that are possible. Right? Because all things are possible, but you just don't know until you get put into this certain situation what you're capable, or what is possible, what you're capable of. So in this way, there is no polarity and judgment, and you're bad and I'm good and I'm right and you're wrong. Because that just feeds into the loop and keeps the revolution the revolution of, well, I don't know, let's just say, without making any judgments, or I'm not making this in a negative kind of way, I'm not saying this with any negative connotations, but I would say a revolution of dysfunctional consciousness. Meaning, what is dysfunctional? That means if it's failing to achieve its objective. So what is the objective of consciousness? It's to explore everything, right? But then it gets kind of stuck. You know, it's like Alice in Wonderland, and the rabbit says, don't stay too long when you come down the rabbit hole with me. Don't stay too long, for you might fall asleep. And what means to say, you might spiritually veil yourself or fall asleep, so you're asleep in the dream. And subject to and vulnerable to all kinds of, I don't know, distractions or obstacles within the game, or Agent Smith activity within the construct. You fill in the blank. You get what I'm saying, right? So Inlakesh and Matubsen. I am another you, you are another me. I recognize that this exchange of energy, whether I like it or I don't like it, I'm not here to judge it. I'm not here to carry any kind of one way or the other out of this sort of, but at the same time, I will not forget it, especially if it's a reflection that I don't like, because then if I don't forget it, that means I must go and look within to say, what is it within me? What is it within my perceptions? What is it in my field? What is it that I believe? What is the way in which I have been programmed to lose sight of my objective, which is spiritual evolutionary progress. Like, eventually you want to get to, the next screen on the game, right? Or whatever. You want to advance. You want to move forward. So, I think that's it. Matubsen in Inlakesh. If that helps in any way, I don't know. Yeah, if it does, it's my honor to share it. So that's about it for now. Stay tuned. Ciao for now.